This week on No Cell Service, our hosts cover the American folk horror, Skeleton Key. This content is intended for mature audiences only. Listener discretion is advised.
We're going to open with some announcements and an apology. 2 apologies. Apology 1. I should have mentioned this last episode and I forgot. Sinister got released late because I'm an idiot and scheduled it wrong. It still came out. You guys still got your episode. Apology 2. Last episode we had a malfunction with a microphone.
Yeah, my microphone apparently butted out. And I didn't know this until a couple days later when a friend of mine, I was like in chat with him and he was like, "Is your mic broken?" I was like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "I could barely hear you." I was like, "Okay." And then I fixed it and I didn't think anything of it. And then one night you texted me and you were like, we have a problem. And I was like, oh no.
So the audios, I did what I could. We amplified it. We cleaned it up as much as possible. But do apologize for that as well.
Sorry. I tested my microphone before we started. So if it did it again, somehow, I'm so sorry.
We'll figure it out. And then, announcement. We made a Discord.
Yeah.
We have a No Cell Service Discord. Open access. Come join us. We're going to add it in our link tree. And then I will also drop it in the description of this episode. Have I also mentioned we have a YouTube? Videos are, not videos, but our episodes are coming out on YouTube as well, if you want to watch it there.
For anyone who doesn't know, because I didn't know this, and as someone who uses YouTube every day, I didn't know that they had started doing, like, podcast posting, like, officially.
Yeah.
Which is sick, because you'd think that, like, that's obviously the next step when they first started doing, like, the reels and stuff. Like, oh, they're integrating, other forms of media, like TikTok and shit, so, like, It was obviously the right direction, so yeah.
Those episodes, our entire back catalog is slowly getting uploaded. I have it, I think, like, an episode a day comes out, just because that's the way I wanted to do shit.
Yeah.
So that will be coming out on YouTube. I think we'll officially be completely caught up by the end of the month, and then we'll be on our normal weekly schedules. It'll come out... Our YouTube episodes come out either the day after or like 6 hours after these ones post on the actual podcasting platforms. I have no idea why, but it doesn't come out at the same time. It's usually later, but those will be on there. It does have closed captioning, but it's not the best. Me and the missus are trying to go through and clean them up as much as possible. I don't know. We had this conversation, like, I don't know, are y'all just sitting at your computer reading what we're saying as we're saying it? If you are, we'll pay more attention to closed captioning, but we're just kind of doing the bare minimum.
We're under the assumption that you listen to this podcast either while doing something else or, doing something else.
Pretty much.
I don't think there's been a single time where I sit down in my chair and put on, white text on a black screen of just an audiobook. Like, it's not a thing. So, but if you guys want better captions,
you guys want, like, we'll do it. It's just I don't want to throw a billion hours into it more than necessary.
We got enough things going on.
We have so many things
between the two of us alone. So
we have so many things going on in the background. Please join our Discord. We're gonna have so much shit going on, guys.
Yeah.
We're gonna update you there. We're gonna talk about a few things. We've talked about this since, like, the start of the podcast. We are getting a Patreon thing set up. It's not quite Patreon. It's another service that is better for creators, honestly. They take a 10% flat fee instead of
fat free,
man. Fat-free yogurt is great. Actually, I hate fat-free yogurt. I'm a Greek yogurt person, but we've got a lot of things.
Just adds flavor.
Fat?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's also, like, consistency, because, like, Yoplait is just, like, water, but, like, a nice Greek yogurt, like, that's a yogurt.
I don't want my yogurt to be close to cottage cheese.
Oh, no,
I need it to be, like, smooth enough.
Have you had the Greek Gods?
No.
That's my favorite
Actually,
Greek
no,
yogurt.
I think I have.
They got a black cherry one?
Yeah, yes, I have. That's the one that I tried.
I love the black cherry one. So there are preferences on yogurt.
Yeah.
There are updates on everything else. Yeah. So
get excited. We'll be intermittently in and out of the Discord. Like we said, we have a million other things going on. So if we don't always reply or, get to putting everyone in the right roles or anything like that, we apologize. We'll get to it.
Yes, and just let us know. I don't know if we have a questions channel or a, like, hit suggestions box or anything like that currently.
I think I added...
I know we have a general chat.
It's a little bare bones. There will be more chats, more everything going up
we just don't
over
know
time.
What y'all want yet. So we have what we think you might want, and then you gotta fill us in on the rest.
If you also haven't listened to the last 3 episodes, my brain's been mush for about a month. So, here we are.
Outside of, we have a lot of podcast stuff going on, we have a lot of, I don't want to say real life, but like, our personal lives.
I can't even really talk about most of it just because it's pretty private shit. But
it's personal shit going on, and we just got...
It's also very expensive.
Yep.
And all I'm going to say is, fuck most insurance companies because they don't give a fuck about you. But that's not the topic of this podcast today. The topic of this podcast today is the skeleton key.
Which... we have mentioned a few times. I actually don't know if I cut it out of the other episodes. This is one of our friends' favorite horror movies.
Who?
Taylor.
Oh. Did you mention that before?
I believe so, yes.
Oh, yes, you did. That's what you did.
I'm pretty sure this is, if not her favorite, one of her favorites. I don't know if she originally showed this to me, but she did end up showing it to me, and I'm like, this is a movie I enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
Did not realize it was from 2005 when I suggested it. This is... not that that's, like, old for horror movies we've done, right? Like, we did...
That was 21 years ago. That's kind of old.
Yeah, but we did, like, The Thing and Aliens.
Yeah, but those are timeless.
Fair enough. Fair enough. But, I mean, who doesn't like Kate Hudson? So...
also, there's that. So, yeah. No, when I saw her come on screen, I was like, ooh, this is going to be fun.
So I started watching this with the missus, and she's like, the rom-com actors in... oh, no, what did she say? Is Gerard Butler in this?
Oh my god, that's funny.
Gerard Butler... who's the other guy? The blonde one.
Oh,
He's in 10 Things I Hate About You. Or How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. You don't watch rom-coms, that's not helpful. He's in Fool's Gold, too. I was thinking of Matthew McConaughey.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, he's not as timeless just because he has one of the least timeless quotes of all time. That's what I like about young girls. I get older, they say the same age.
What the fuck is
Do you not know?
No.
That's from it's a classic Matthew McConaughey line.
Ooh. But
it's like from a movie. Like, it's not like the actor.
So.
But like... again, one of the least timeless.
Brunettes.
Yeah, so... I don't even know what my point is. Or was.
Kate Hudson is what we were talking about.
Kate Hudson. Yeah, she's great.
First thoughts before we get into this. Anything you want to start with?
What, like... how did I feel in the beginning?
Oh.
Or... like
overall.
any beginning remarks?
Yeah.
Not necessarily. I mean, I had no idea what I was going into, and I think that's the best way to do it. If you like horror movies, don't go look this up and, like, read a detailed synopsis about, like, what the movie's about, or, like, don't find the description that's put on Netflix, because even then I feel like that would give away too much. You just need to, like, put it on and press play and just, like, watch.
I will say, much like... this is a terrible comparison because we talked nothing but shit about My Soul to Take and how you need to read synopsises and probably listen to that episode before you watch the movie so you understand what's happening. This is probably my 4th watch through of this movie. And picking out the nuances and just being like, ha, that's funny when you know what's going on.
Yeah. Oh, I bet.
Is so good.
Well, because, like, even I remember at the end, big revelation, all this stuff. And I remember being like, oh, yep, there you go. And then I kind of, like, wanted to slow clap almost. Not that it was, like, a masterpiece 10 out of 10 even, but it was just kind of one of those that made you want to be like, damn, you fucking got me, bro. You fucking got me good.
It's good. It's not... so we were talking about this off air a little bit. a solid C plus seems to be the standard rating. We both agreed it'd be more B tier for us.
Yeah.
It's not the best movie ever performed, ever written, ever filmed, but it is good.
You wouldn't, like, finish watching Weapons with your friends and then be like, oh my god, dude, have you seen The Skeleton Key? If you think Weapons was... Dude, you have no idea.
Yeah.
No. It's not...
It's not, again, definitely not an S tier movie, but it is like...
But it's like, I would definitely watch it again. Whereas Steel Trap, I will think about for the rest of my life. And you know what? Never mind. That's not a good example. I'm definitely going to watch Steel Trap.
No, we
again.
talked about this before because I compared something to Steel Trap and I was like, oh yeah, but Steel Trap, and then we were both like, no, but we're going to watch that again.
Yeah.
Steel Trap is one of those weird B movies where you're just like,
B?
Not B tier.
Okay,
B horror.
sorry. Yeah.
Like, just one of those movies where you just watch again because
it's like
you can't
close to
help
made for
it.
TV.
Yeah.
It might as well be, but it's better than made for TV.
But not
for any specific reason.
It's so weird. It's one of those movies that we will continuously talk about.
It's my if I would put it in my own S tier. But if I had to devise an S tier for the public, it would definitely go down into D. Maybe high F. Anyways, sorry, we could go on.
We could go on about Steel Trap for ages. I don't even think that original episode was that long, but I think if you added everything we've said since then, it would be like a 3-hour long episode. So we open with Caroline. She's reading a book to a patient in a hospital bed. Mm-hmm. I meant to look up what the book was, and I totally spaced it. That's my bad.
It sounded like some Shakespearean kind of stuff. Maybe not even Shakespearean necessarily, but older writing, like the older writing language.
It had like a boat on the cover, and I was like, I don't think it's Moby Dick, but like same classic stack of books.
Yeah.
In that vein. And you watch as he just like, his eyes start to close and he dies.
You watch the life drain from this man as she's just reading to him. It like gives shots of like, under a tree, like facing up the branches and like the evening sky for like a bit of an ominous kind of feel.
And then he dies and she checks his pulse and someone walks by and she's like, hey, he's gone. And they just pack up his stuff. She's a hospice nurse. Yeah. So this is her job, just making people comfortable until they pass. Mm-hmm. They pack up all of his stuff, and she waits in the lobby. I think it might be the same doctor or a different doctor comes out and tells her she's going to be waiting a while. No one's coming. They called his family, but no one wants anything to do with him. So she takes this box out to the dumpster because what do you do with people's stuff? And there are other boxes with other people's names.
There's like 6 other boxes in there with people's names on it. Just a bunch of their affects thrown away.
Because no one wanted it. And that hit me in like, a weird way.
It hit me in a weird way too. Because, you think about whether it's homeless people or people who just like fucked over their family because of drugs or anything like
Maybe
that.
Maybe they're just an asshole.
Yeah, like you never know. But she ends up like opening the box and looking at some of the stuff.
There's a photo, a keychain.
A bunch of like, that hit too in its own way.
Very personal items.
Like when you look at this box and your brain starts to categorize all the items, you kind of start to build a mini picture in your head of like what this guy maybe looked like when he was alive and active. There's a keychain that is like in the shape of a guitar and it says like something about like
live
hard, live good.
Fast.
Yeah.
Those sayings.
Something like that. But it's very interesting that like
whatever he did,
a man's whole life is reduced to this box because the legacy is just disappearing as we speak.
Well, she takes the keychain and she starts looking for I guess we don't technically see she takes the keychain, but whatever. She ends up taking it. We see it later.
Doesn't it just cut to her driving?
No, she's on a train.
Oh, yes, that's right. She's on the train first.
She's like on a tram. This is in New Orleans, so it's the street tram. She's looking for a new job and she circles one for a home hospice nurse.
$1,000 a week. That ain't bad.
In 2005? Nah, that ain't bad at all.
Not at all.
It then goes to her being at a bar with her best friend Jill, who is also her roommate, that we don't find that out until the end of the movie. But they live together. Or at least did live together when she had this job.
Mm-hmm.
Caroline explains the job to Jill. And Jill is like, girl, that's out in the swamps. That's the boonies. You don't want to go out there. What the hell are you doing?
Yeah.
And Caroline explains that it gives her enough time to go back to school. It's really good money. She gets to stay on the property and this plantation. And it's a good deal. Like,
yeah.
That's
killer.
And this is what she wants to do. She wants to help people and be a nurse in this kind of way. This seems like the ideal way to do it. Jill says something else, but Caroline just cuts her off with, are we going to dance or what? And so then they dance to some really killer jazz music. Mm-hmm. Oh, nothing beats a live New Orleans jazz band.
Oh, yeah. I can't wait to go there someday. You know, that's next on our, big group trip.
Oh, yeah, I did hear that. I've been. I enjoyed it. The beignets?
Never been.
It cuts to her driving her little VW Bug with the keychain hanging from the keys down the street, or down, the freeway, into the swamps, my guy. Like, this goes from city to rural. You live in people have boats docked outside their house. Swamps.
Yeah, up against the wild.
She pulls up onto this old plantation. This exactly what you picture a plantation house. It's big, square, got pillars, 2-story.
If any of you have played Red Dead Redemption 2, when you go eventually do all those missions at that plantation, down to the big trees on either side of the road and just a straight line, all the way down. And then, the big old southern house with, the big, columns kind of holding up the front kind of deal.
The Gothic Victorian style.
Yeah, very...
If any of you guys have watched Stay Alive, very similar to that plantation as well. Which, that's a movie I want you to watch because I don't believe you have. It's Frankie Muniz in it.
I have not.
That kind of house. Your stereotypical southern plantation house. Exactly what it is. This fucking Caroline, she does so many things where I'm just like, where are your manners?
Yeah, honestly.
Bitch, this ain't your house. Where are your manners?
So you're in the South, bro.
She has no southern charm about her and gets called out in it in 1 second. She knocks on this front door, calls out, no one answers, so she just walks in, walks through the entire house to the back porch.
Well, she gets through the front door and closes it, and it's kind of dark. And she, looks over and gets jump scared by a statue of a saint or something.
Yep.
Very creepy, because it's just life-size, and it's just there.
You know,
it freaked me out, too, at first. I was like, oh, God. Oh, okay.
The Mother Mary saint statues that are painted with, the blue and the orange. That, but it was not Mother Mary, I don't believe. I don't know how to tell saints apart, though.
It was just, a dude. Or,
There's...
it was creepy.
It has that kind of stuff all around it. This house is southern old charm with creepy old knick-knacky things all around it. Mm-hmm. On the back porch, or in the garden of the back porch, once she gets out there, you see this old lady trimming some guy's hair. He's got his little towel around his tie. What is with my brain today? His towel around his neck as she's trimming the back of his head. And she gets jump scared by Luke. A little bit of scared, not super scared, but he comes up and he drops a bunch of stuff. Luke introduces himself as the estate lawyer. He's the one who put the ad in the newspaper for a hospice nurse or a nurse to help come take care of Ben, who is the old man. Mm-hmm. He explains that Ben had a stroke and it affected both sides of his body. So he's pretty much mute. He can't speak. He can't really move. He's pretty much mostly a vegetable, for lack of a better term. They are literally just waiting for him to die and trying to make his last however long left, as nice as possible.
That'd be hospice.
Violet is the lady of the house, Mrs. Devereaux.
I'm glad you wrote her name down because...
Oh, I didn't write it down. I don't know how to spell that. There's an X in there.
No, Violet.
Oh.
Because I did not remember her name.
Yeah, she's called Mrs. Devereaux throughout the entire thing.
Yeah.
Violet takes one look at her and is like, this bitch was not raised in New Orleans. She's not gonna understand the house. She doesn't know anything. I don't want her. Get her out, pretty much.
Yep.
Caroline goes to leave. She goes up to Ben and, like, tries to talk to him a little bit, but she comes to the conclusion if Violet doesn't want her there, she's not going to fight for it. You can only help someone who wants the help, right?
She's like, all right, I'm going to just leave then.
Luke convinces her to let him convince Violet that she should work there.
Yeah.
He says this is the fifth interview that they've had. She turns them all away. She doesn't like any of them, and she needs help. She's watching the love of her life die. And
that's not easy, so of course you're gonna... He says something like, of course you're gonna have sandpaper up your ass about it. He's very very charming and very, like, not flirty, just very, like, oh no, dude, like...
He's got that southern way about him.
Yeah.
And it was weird. I watched some behind-the-scenes clips. Homie does not have an accent. Actually.
Oh, I know, yeah.
I don't know who he is.
I don't remember his name. I just know I've seen him in a couple other things. Sorry.
No, we're in some kind of mood today.
Yeah,
the
honestly,
vibes are weird. I just got here from my little cousin's birthday party, so I'm in a state. In a stress state. We are what is right now, so bear with us.
If it gives you any indication, I picked up smoking again. So that gives you a little bit of a range to go about, Yeah, we'll get through this.
Well, it's fine.
It's not a complicated movie, which is nice. We can kind of just breeze through it.
It's technically 5 pages of notes, but I think a lot of that is me yelling at Caroline. I'm not gonna lie.
That's so funny.
Ugh, she drives me insane.
Yeah, immediately, like, I'll point it out which scene, but I definitely had a point where I thought to myself, I must be too chicken shit, because, like, until I'd have more probable cause maybe, I wouldn't feel like I had the balls to overstep those boundaries like that.
The amount of boundaries she crosses. Bitch, this is not your house.
Yeah, that's the one thing. It's one thing if you are in someone else's house. That's enough. But if you're in the South and you're in someone else's house, if you were born in the South and you do this, your mom will kill you. You ain't gonna allow that. I don't know.
Violet is not wrong when she's like, Caroline will not understand this stuff. And also, she doesn't.
Knowing the full scope, that's a good line.
She won't understand the house.
Yeah. Because you're like, oh my god, that makes perfect sense. Why she'd just be like, no, fuck her. Like, this is just going to be a waste of time. Mm-hmm. And you can cut that if you want.
No, I'm here for it.
But like...
there's a few things that I want to point out where I'm like, this is great. So, Jill gives her a bunch of random rules of no playing bridge, don't get hooked on bingo, you have to come and see me, and as they're sending her off. This is the most she's 25, this is the most early 20 things ever. She's on E, driving rurally through Louisiana, and has to stop at the most sketch gas station because girl did not fill up before she left.
Yeah.
So she stops at this... It's a combo of, like, a house and a gas station. She fills up and you have to... Does she fill up first and then have to pay after? Is that what it was?
Yeah.
She goes inside and you see a red line in front of the step to get into the actual gas station.
Bit of, like, dust or dirt or something.
Much like the salt lines we have seen in previous movies. Mm-hmm. Except it's, like, red dust. She goes in, tries to pay, she's calling out, there's no one there. She goes down this kind of hallway.
There's a bunch of weird shit in the shop. There's like...
Oh, I guess, yeah. There's bones and weird things.
There's flies just landing on, like, old jars and
there's
just, like...
open oysters on the counter, too.
Yeah. Yeah, there's that, too. And she's, like, slowly walking past a bunch of this stuff, calling out, and then, like, she looks over towards this back room... And the door's open, but there's no one immediately in the doorway. The room seems to, like, go off to the right. you like see this shadow pass over the wall and it like immediately gives you the creeps, but she's like, hello? And then all of a sudden this fucking blind ass lady just stands up out of nowhere in front of the door and is like just staring at her. Scares the fuck out of me. It's like, Jesus Christ.
And this whole time you hear this music radio.
Forgot about that.
They call it music, but in my head it feels like a radio host talking. More so, or like, I think I describe it later as a sermon. It very much has like a sermon vibe.
Because there's like a little bit of music mixed in, but there's like talking, but there's almost a rhythm to some of the talking. So it's a bit discernible whether it truly is just straight music or a straight sermon. It's kind of a mix.
Yeah, so I think I stick more to calling it a sermon. So you hear it here. A woman comes to take the old lady back to go sit down, and she then gets immediately jump scared by the actual gas station attendant, who like I said earlier, I think this is a combo of house gas station thing, who speaks Creole at her, and she just stares at him blankly. He then switches to French, and he asks her if she speaks French, and she just stares at him blankly, and then defaults to, it's $17 in English.
And then he pops open an oyster in his hand.
And slurps it up.
And then just shucks it down.
Well, Caroline makes her way back to the house, and she's getting unpacked and notices there are no mirrors anywhere. There's not a mirror in the bathroom. There's not a mirror in a room.
There are signs of mirrors, meaning that there's like...
outlines.
There's outlines where like the wall is cleaner in a square, and then the rest of the wall around that square is just a little dirtier, so you can clearly see that something was hanging up.
Yeah. And in some spots you can see where the nail still is as well. Ben is just kind of chilling in bed when Caroline goes to check on him. He's got a little blues record playing. She's talking to him.
She's like, oh, you like jazz music?
She's talking to him in a way I don't fully appreciate, because he's still cognizant, right? And she's talking to him in a way where it feels like she thinks he can't understand her. Where I feel like you talk this way more to someone who you think is brain dead or like in a coma. Like you're saying things at them in almost a childlike way. Yeah. And it drives me a little bonkers because my grandfather has had a stroke and Bell's palsy. Like, again, we stated he's cognizant. He's there. He just can't speak or move. And I just didn't vibe with the way she was talking to him.
That's fair.
She goes to adjust his arm and put it under the blanket, and he grabs it hard, and she has to pry him off of her.
And he looks at her with these eyes of like, not bulgy creepy, but just like pleading. Almost. Pleading?
It's at this point I couldn't tell if it was pleading or who the fuck are you?
Yeah, that's fair.
It's a mix between those two of big bulgy eyes that could go one way or the other. Violet ends up coming in and explains about his remedies when he takes them, that he has tremors. She leads her around the bottom floor of the house, saying, don't bother with the housework, you won't be able to do it right anyways, I'm the only one who can.
I mean, to be fair, if I was working that job for $1,000 a week in 2005, and the lady said, well, you don't have to do a fucking thing around here except make sure my husband gets his meds and gets his baths.
And go to the grocery store
and go
every once in a while?
Yeah, like... Bro, I'd be like, say no less, say no more. Like, it's your house.
Chill. I'm at your mercy.
I don't know what the fuck is up with your house. You're right. You're totally right. This is how you sign my check. Thank you.
She then looks at Caroline and says, I bet you're all marked up, aren't you?
Oh, yeah.
It's the most old school way to like ask about tattoos. Like, yeah. I know you young kids like to mark up your bodies, and it's just
with all that fresh young ink or something like that.
It's so unnerving the way she says it.
She's like, "You're marked, aren't you?" And she's like,
"Not in a way you can see. No. Not somewhere you can see."
Yeah, yeah.
Such a weird interaction.
Just so like, all right, Grandma, I get it. I fucking have a tattoo. Like, big deal.
She also calls her, she's like, you're scrawnier than I hoped you'd be, but prettier.
Yeah. I don't know what I'd do with that either. I'd be like, what do you mean scrawnier than you want. Are you trying to fatten me up for the meal? Like, what are you talking about?
I saw it as, you have to lift this man. He can't move. Like, you gotta bathe him and do that kind of stuff.
That's fair.
But nurses are trained on how to maneuver people twice their size all of the time.
Yeah.
It's a possibility, but in I could see from Violet's point of view being like, I wanted someone stockier who would be able to handle him easier, then I think you're going to be able to. Because Violet's short, but she's stocky. Mm-hmm. She can handle herself.
Yeah.
She also talks about the house, how they've lived there since 1962. They bought it from a brother and a sister. Mm-hmm. Caroline thinks it's super weird. She keeps their photo, the brother and sister's photo, on the mantelpiece. Mm-hmm. I didn't think that was weird. Violet talks about paying homage to the people who own the house. Yeah,
especially with a almost a historic landmark like a plantation like that. Like, you kind of almost would want to honor the... Yeah.
Yeah, and the way Violet talks about the house, too, makes it very much feel like there is... Like, the house has a soul. I don't know if for me, like, houses have vibes. And they have feelings when you go to certain places,
100%.
Right? And so, for me, I wouldn't want to go into a very old house and then disrespect it.
Yes, 100%.
And it's not like she has a freaking portrait above the man. It's like a 9x9. It's not a giant portrait.
Yeah. But when certain things get used to... I'm going to sound like a crazy person if I go down this road, so maybe I shouldn't.
I was trying very hard to not as well, because I think we have similar views on this, but you do that. It's just feels like the natural thing, mm-hmm. especially for how old Violet is. It feels like a very old school thing to want to pay respects to the people who own the house before you. Mm-hmm. So I feel like Caroline's the weird one here. Just going to put that out there.
Agreed. She's a bit out of touch.
She does pick up the frame, and from behind it,
another, like, picture.
Yeah, but what are they called? Polaroids. Polaroid falls out from behind it, and she flips it over, and the writing on it says Papa Justify and Mama Cecile written on the back. Mm-hmm. Which I love the name Cecile. Yeah. Very beautiful. So the photo is of the two siblings, and then we're at a plantation. There are two black servants behind these two white children. Mm-hmm. So Papa Justify and Mama Cecile are the two servants. Which also, this obviously kind of deals with race and a bunch of stuff like that, because this is set at a plantation. Mm-hmm. I don't know if we should have opened with that, but just so you're aware.
Yeah, we try to be as correct as possible, because we do not want to hurt anyone's feelings. But if we do at any point leave anything out or don't say anything right, just let us know. We're just trying to give you guys good horror recommendations, or, simply take you through a horror movie if you don't like watching them, like my wife.
I think we've explained it this way before, as being a Cliff Notes for a horror movie. Mm-hmm.
Even though our notes are longer than the movie itself.
Usually, yeah. Violet then goes through and explains the rooms around the houses as well. She explains what a skeleton key is and how it works, and gives Caroline one. She has the other. Meaning Caroline, asks about mirrors, and Violet just looks at her and is like, "Child, you get as old as we are, you do not want any reminders." Fair, my lady. Fair. She also explains that she's gonna live like Caroline doesn't really exist. Like, we're not kin. I'm not gonna... Pretty much saying, you do you, take care of my husband, this is a job. What I took from that is, like, I'm not gonna cook for you, I'm not gonna go out of my way to do anything for you. Mm-hmm. You gotta do your own shit. Yeah. Which, again, makes sense. You're a live-in nurse. I guess it could go either way, right? Like, sometimes I feel like those people want to have consistent meals and stuff with you, or they just want to kind of pretend that things aren't happening the way they're happening because their loved one is dying. Yeah. She ends with telling Caroline to be good to her husband, be good to his house, and they'll be good. You learn that Caroline's dad died fairly recently, within a handful of years, maybe 5 years, give or take. And that her mom left when she was a child, so she doesn't really have any family. Yeah. In the morning, Caroline gives Ben a bath. She dresses him all nice. Takes him... They have a lift in this house, my guy. They puts him in his wheelchair, takes him in the lift, takes him out to the garden.
And not like a Stairmaster. Just a...
Oh, straight up.
Just like a minecart lift, almost.
In the middle of the stairs. In the garden, Caroline and Violet argue about New Jersey being the Garden State, which then me and my wife argued about New Jersey being the Garden State. Because why? And I learned why.
Arguing about the fact that it is? Or
yes. Because how the hell is the 4th smallest state in this country the Garden State? And it shouldn't be the Garden State. It should be the Farmer State. Because it's called the Garden State because they have berries out the wazoo. They have lots of berries they export. So they have acres and acres of farmland. I didn't know that. I didn't know New Jersey farmed.
I didn't know that either. Anytime I hear about New Jersey, I just hear about, like, the city.
Yeah. I didn't know anything about the state. And apparently they do a lot of exports of berries. So it's the Garden State by some man who was like, yes, the Garden State.
The Garden of Berries.
Violet sends Caroline up to the attic to look for her trilliums? Her seeds. Some flower seeds.
Yeah.
And after that whole lecture, because we forgot to mention, so there are like 30 rooms in this house, and Luke uses a bunch of them for an antique selling thing, and what he can't... Was it Luke? Ben? I don't know. Someone... They keep a bunch of old shit in the house that are antiques that are being sold. And in the attic, that's where all the crystal and the super expensive stuff is kept, and she keeps her eye on those. So after that whole long lecture, Violet then sends Caroline up there to look for seeds, which in my head was like, oh, she's testing her. Gonna send her up there, see if she does anything weird, right? She can't find the lights. She finds the seed box, like, super easily. She, like, pretty much runs into it because it's on the ground and it's a box full of seeds. It's super easy to find. Her attention gets drawn to the other side of the attic because this attic is huge. You walk in and you have, like, the normal attic. God damn, I'm talking with my hands too much. You have the normal attic. Like, you walk in and there's a normal thing. And then you have a walkway that goes into another area of the attic. I guess the house is square, so I guess the entire attic would just be the entire...
Like a big... Oops, I also hit my mic.
What? Yeah.
Oh boy, I hope it's...
So on the opposite side of this really big attic, she sees, then hears, then sees movement on this kind of wire rack shelf where, an old school gas can or something along those lines, maybe a watering can, something like that, is moving. She moves all of the stuff and there's a door behind it that is rattling. Yeah. And she goes to open it with the freaking skeleton key. This is where I'm like, girl, this is not your house. I don't care what's back there. Maybe it's locked for a reason. This door is freaking hidden. Barbarian. I don't want to know. Yeah. I don't want to know what's back there.
Honestly, you just don't have to. It's okay.
She goes... So the door isn't budging, even with the key. The attic door she came in slams shut, and then she leaves. Yeah. But as soon as she leaves, that door starts shaking again. So there's this weird, 50% of me where my true crime brain is saying that someone is locked in the attic. Right? So that's the 50-50 for me of this is not your house, but there might be someone trapped in the attic. Yeah. But either way, now is not the time for that when if these people are keeping someone trapped in the attic, they are expecting you back quickly.
Yeah. 100%.
Caroline asks Violet about the door and why the key doesn't open it. Violet says she has no idea what's in that room. She does not care to know. The key has never opened it. And that's how she wants to leave it. So Caroline cannot drop this freaking door in the attic. She keeps pressing the issue. And she says, oh, wasn't Ben up there when he had his stroke? Why? Why are you trying to push this issue? Violet obviously does not want to talk about it. Just drop it. So many times I'm just like, yeah, you're 25.
I will say... One thing that I have to remind myself in these situations is the fact that while, yes, we're watching this all play out and, we have hindsight there is that human part that, like, when you're in those moments, there's that, like, gut feeling that you have. You know, it's like if a cop pulls someone over and, like, the dude's acting okay, like, not necessarily acting weird, but, like, the cop just feels like there's, like, a fucking body in the trunk or something, then it turns out to be true. You know, like, that kind of gut feeling.
Yeah.
Like, I almost wonder if in some of these horror movies where we're like, why are you doing this? Why are you going to the like, maybe it's because of that feeling specifically, and there's just really no way to portray that to, like, the viewer.
That's fair. I just, again, in this situation, if there's someone trapped in the attic, why are you telling the person who might have someone trapped in the attic you know about the person trapped in the attic?
Yeah, you know, that too. I'm not making excuses for Caroline. I try to remind myself of that specific stuff because I find myself a lot of the times being like, why the fuck are you doing this? Why do you have to be so curious? But then I think to myself, like, I get curious about weird shit, you know?
My thing comes down to her curiosity I would not have because this is not my fucking house.
But that's also fair. That's such a complete and, like, that you can end your argument right there and it's perfect. I think, yeah, my only argument to that would be the gut feeling thing. Because if you go and you get a weird feeling from this lady, she gets a weird feeling from Violet, obviously, with the way that, you know, her husband grabbed Caroline and stuff. I don't know. Maybe that gut feeling combined with all of that just made her believe that, like, maybe something is wrong. Like, maybe there's someone because, like, Caroline's whole thing is, like, she wants to help people, right?
Yeah.
So maybe in her head, she's thinking, like, oh my God, like, that's the first thing her head jumps to is because she's looking for people to rescue.
I just feel like then you're putting yourself in a compromising position.
Oh, yeah,
because
100%.
she's now living here. And so it's not like she
she's
pops
not,
in.
She's not doing herself any favors at all. I'm not saying it's even the right thing to do. I'm just saying, like, the human mind can lead you to do some fucking dumb shit sometimes that you'd otherwise, like, either later on in life or beforehand think of that scenario and be like, no, I'd never do that. But then when you get to it, there's, like, that human part to it.
There's the whole experiment with the locked cabinet, or the whole question, right? Like, if you're left in a room with a locked cabinet, are you going to try and open it?
No.
Yeah, because it's not my cabinet. Why would I try and open a locked cabinet? I don't care.
Yeah.
But there's people...
The last time I did it when I was a child, I opened it and there was nothing magical inside. And that's when I realized, oh, like, people just put random ass fucking, like, pencils and shit in here. Like, it doesn't even...
But there are people who can't not know. They have to open it.
Oh, yeah.
We have a friend who is this way.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think she would snoop and then tell Violet she snooped.
No.
But
she'd be smarter about it.
She would totally snoop. I feel like she would do a lot of the things Caroline does without telling Violet what she's doing.
I would, to Ariana's credit though, she would get that bad feeling immediately upon meeting Violet probably. And being like, there's something wrong here.
There's a thunderstorm going on while Caroline is trying to sleep. And it wakes her up with, like, a loud boom, and then she hears a bunch of rattling upstairs. Mm-hmm. So she, again, goes to fucking investigate. The light is on in Violet's room when she goes to check on Ben, and then this, I had to remind myself, like, they're probably in separate rooms because she knew she was getting help. Because in my head, I could not imagine not sharing a room with my spouse. Mm-hmm. But in this situation, it makes sense that they're in separate rooms, so if anything does happen, Caroline's not having to then wake them both, like, wake up Violet as well, and doesn't have to intrude on Violet's, privacy to go check on Ben. Mm-hmm. Ben isn't in his bed or in his wheelchair, and the door was locked, and you find that, like, she's looking around for him. She had to unlock his door with the skeleton key. She's opening a bunch of random doors, and she gets to, like, the 6th door, and it clicks in her head. His door was locked. So she busts back into his room, and homie has climbed out the freaking window, and all of that thudding you heard was him dragging his body across the tin roof.
He's crawling, dragging most of his body along the tin roof of, like, the front porch. And you're like, what the fuck? This is the first point where I was like, homie's trying to run. Mm-hmm. What the fuck? This is why I said, don't research this movie. Go, like, sit down and just put it on. Because, like, everything will be kind of normal. You'll be like, all right, shit's setting up to be weird. Like, she's now in the weird house. When are the ghosts going to start popping out? But then this happens and you're like, oh, something else is going on. Mm-hmm. But then your brain starts going a million different directions because that something else can't possibly be even closely related to what was in your head earlier. So there's just like a million new theories starting to sprout and you're just like fucking in it at that point.
This movie is very good to talk theories.
100%.
He, obviously, because it's thunderstorming, Ben falls off the roof.
I shouldn't laugh.
But the fall is wild because Caroline is yelling from his window to stay where he is, don't move, and he turns around, looks at her, and then keeps crawling his way across, and he grabs onto the gutter, and I don't know what he was trying to do, just continue pulling himself forward or swing himself down. Either way, he falls onto the ground, on the floor. On the ground? What? He falls into some bushes. Caroline's screaming for Violet this entire time. They both run down to where he was, and Violet's screaming for his remedies. They'll call the doctor in the morning. Right now, just get his wheelchair. We need to get him inside. You know, it's raining. He's sick. Caroline bolts back upstairs to go get his wheelchair, and she notices a potted plant is turned over, and on the sheet, in the dirt, "Help me" is written. Mm-hmm. Ugh, so good.
Yeah.
Violet says they're going to double his remedies because she doesn't know what else to do at this point. Caroline looks around, trying to find, like, where... I believe this is in the morning, yeah. So, that night, Violet says we're going to have to double his remedies. I don't know what else to do. And in the morning, Caroline goes looking around, trying to figure out where was Ben going. Was he after something? What was he looking for? And she notices an old rowboat on a dock by the swamp where the house is. She assumes that's where he was going.
Yeah.
Luke comes over because he's dealing with Will stuff, or I don't know. He's something there. And Caroline explains what happened last night, but when she goes to try, like, to also show him the sheet, because he's trying to be very kind and ask her what's going on, what do you think's going, like, what did you see, what did you think you saw, and kind of being a very good confidant in this moment of just trying to see where she's coming from, even if her ideas seem not grounded in reality.
Yeah.
When she goes to show him the sheet is still there, but it's blank. There's nothing written on it. Mm-hmm. And she says something, and he asks her if she's planning on quitting. And she explains about how her dad had passed while she was a groupie in one of her friend's bands, and he passed before she even knew he was sick. Mm-hmm. So she just came back from doing this whole, like, you know, tour, and he was sick and
didn't they, like,
dead.
Get into a fight too? And so they, like, stopped talking, and then
he died.
Yeah. So awful.
It was a stupid argument that she then let continue to fester and not talk to her dad.
Yeah.
Which, these arguments suck, right? You're not doing anything with your life. I think you're wasting it away. And
dude, my brother joined the army because of that fight he had with my dad. Like, that was the fight that made my brother join the army for 6 years. So, like, you know, kids don't take it lightly.
I mean, yeah, I had the same fight with my parents. They didn't want me to switch degrees when I wanted to. Obviously, I still did, and I don't even have... Well, I have an associate's degree. I'm partway through my bachelor's. But this fight is so common. This is not the one that should be the make it or break it, cut off contact.
This is not a heavy boundary overstepping that requires you to take a step back in order for you to prioritize your own mental health. Like, that's not what this is.
No, this is legit just normal parent shit.
Yeah.
Luke presses a little bit more about Ben and what she thinks is going on. She asks Luke if he feels like Ben is asking for help with a look or a touch, or if he kind of just trying to feel out where Luke thinks Ben is in this whole situation, because she literally just saw him... Oh, I forgot about... Violet called it a tremor when because Caroline asks...
That's why they have to up the dose. She's like, his tremors aren't going away.
Because Caroline asks for clarification on his movement, and Violet says he has tremors. And in my head, I thought that meant I've only seen him have tremors. I've never seen him fully move. And the missus was like, you call that a fucking tremor? He crawled away from you.
Yeah.
So I think it's perspective, but that... I don't remember where I was going with that. But that's a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Violet comes looking for Luke, and they're sitting on... Luke and Caroline are sitting on Caroline's bed, and Violet does not approve. She looks at them and she's like, it's nice the children are getting acquainted. And Luke kind of placates her by saying, you're the only woman in my life. And Violet, again, just not having his shit, is like, I know no such thing. Do not touch me, bitch. Mm-hmm. Now, are we gonna do what you came here for or not? Luke ends up giving Caroline his card to call whenever he needs her, or she needs him. And the next scene, like, Luke leaves Caroline, or Violet and Ben, I think they're out in the garden or something, and she sneaks into the attic again.
Yeah. Caroline goes up into the attic. This time, when she's up there, well, no, this is, okay, yeah. So she goes up into the attic, and she ends up moving the buckets and like all the stuff that's blocking the door in the back, and
uses her bobby pin to dig in the lock, and she pulls out a piece of broken key. She compares it to the key she has, and it kind of looks like it might be a tooth from it. She unlocks it, opens it up, because why the fuck not, and gets hit with like this gust of wind.
Yeah, whenever you see in like a horror movie when the kids open up the old book, or like the jar breaks and the gush of wind hits and all the dust flies out. That's what this was. My first thought, if that happened to me when I opened a door, I'd be like, all right, I'm closing that and I'm never going back, because I might have just unleashed something.
It's definitely
I don't fucking know.
A freaking warning sign, because I was thinking of The Mummy.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, where you open something you shouldn't have.
It like, pfft, and then you go outside and the apocalypse is happening. I don't need that shit, man. I'll just go home at that point.
She's not a smart man, Jenny. She crawls through the shelf through the door, and there's a bunch of wet specimens and jars full of liquids and solids and
I couldn't even,
skulls
I'm good at describing. I couldn't even tell you what's in these jars.
I think one has a snake in it. I think it's a wet specimen snake coiled. Y'all remember when we
One
described...
looks like a brain, but it's not a brain.
Remember when we described the fetuses in Immaculate? All those wet specimens. It's like that, except they're not fetuses. They're just things.
They're just things. It's like old-timey voodoo jars more than like scientific research jars. Yeah. Like,
so there's also a voodoo doll, your stereotypical. It's like life-size though, and it has blonde hair, and in my head I was like, blonde hair? Bitch, is that you? Ooh. And to specify because we already did bring voodoo into this, this would be hoodoo.
Yes.
Not voodoo. There is a distinction, and for our purposes of this movie, we are going to be talking about hoodoo. Mm-hmm. She finds a big-ass, what looks kind of like a photo album in the first couple pages, because there's a bunch of photos and stuff. But in the start of the book, it reads, what is it? Recipe book of Papa Justify and Blessed Teachings. Mm-hmm. It's got photos, and I didn't know a better term to describe these, so I'm just going to call them summoning circles, because I think that gives you a good idea of random etchings and markings that are... It's not just a circle, there are things inside of it. It is not technically a summoning circle, but I think that's what gives you the best idea of what these look like.
Yeah, 100%.
She also finds a ring that has 3 snakes with red eyes coiled around it.
I'd like to have that ring, not gonna lie. It's pretty fucking cool.
It's a pretty sick ring. The only thing I don't like about it is I'm not a gold jewelry person.
Is it gold?
It is. I'm more of a silver person.
I thought it was like a dark iron.
Mm-mm. Yeah, it's a gold ring.
Maybe I fucking...
No, this room is really dark.
Maybe that's what it was. I looked over at my monitor like
it was up there.
That shit fucked up.
The Violet, that's not what I meant to say. Violet comes inside and is calling for Caroline, asking if she wants something.
Some iced tea.
Was it
some
iced
sweet tea?
Ugh. Some real southern iced tea. Oh. God.
Yeah.
Caroline also finds an old vinyl that's labeled Papa Justifies Conjure of Sacrifice. August. It changed what I wrote. Or I wrote this really wrong.
Oh.
No, I think I just added a 0 on accident. August 24, 1920. New Iberia Parish. Violet scares the crap out of Caroline.
Well, she doesn't... Yeah, well, yes. She
on accident, because Violet's going up into the attic, and the attic has 2 separate doors. So you have the door before the stairs, and then after the stairs, so it's blocking both ways. And she can hear Violet coming up the stairs. So she freaks out. Well, but she freaked out by hearing her name get called closer than she expected it to be, and she drops one of the wet specimens. That's what I meant by she scares Caroline.
Yeah, that's right.
Then Caroline sneaks out of the secret room into the normal attic, and then hides behind like a tchotchke. What are those things called? Like a wardrobe. And also ends up finding where all of the mirrors are.
Yep.
Which isn't a surprise, because Violet did say she took all of the mirrors down. It makes sense that she put them in the attic storage area.
Yeah, covered with sheets. Yeah.
Like they look like they're being stored.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Violet doesn't find Caroline up there, goes back downstairs, and it cuts to Caroline in what I guess would be also her flat, her and Jill's place, where she is playing the vinyl that sounds a lot like the vinyl we heard in the gas station.
Mm-hmm.
The whole very sermon-esque. I couldn't even write down what this man was saying.
No.
It's talking about hills and valleys and Lord save me from the thing and give me whatever. It's very sermon-y.
Yeah.
This is where Jill explains about hoodoo rooms and about hoodoo in general. They go to a bar first, actually. They go to a bar, and Jill's explaining the difference between voodoo and hoodoo, and how hoodoo was made in the States, where voodoo is an actual religion.
Yeah.
So it's pretty much...
Voodoo is the more, like, practice of religion and worshipping of a god, whereas hoodoo is more of, like, the practicing of the magic and...
Yeah, it's folk magic versus, like, structured religion.
Yeah.
Is a very watered-down overview of what the difference of the two
Voodoo
are.
was brought over here from Haiti, but hoodoo was made here in the States.
Mm-hmm. Jill also explains that her aunt shops at a hoodoo store, and Caroline wants Jill to take her there, and they end up outside of the laundromat, and both of them are too chicken shit to go in, so they don't.
Yeah.
Also, Jill's nickname is apparently Jill the Thrill. Which, go off, queen, question mark? Whatever,
Yeah.
I guess.
Doesn't seem very thrilling, but, you know. Because she's just like a friend. There's nothing... She's not like the quirky, like, crazy, loud friend. She's just like the friend.
So this is where this movie loses points for me, because it is the friend to just have answers. Jill has no other bearing in this except she's around to give answers.
Yeah.
And it's a big thing, especially with supporting characters being POC, that they are just the person there to, like, give answers and don't actually have a life outside the character, and they're very one-dimensional.
Just like delivery of plot for the main character.
Yes, and doesn't do anything otherwise. I feel like in more recent movies we have gotten away from supporting characters just being a plot device, and they actually feel like a character.
Oh yeah, because I mean, people started realizing that, like, you do a side character good enough, they become the underdog, and then, like, that's who everyone will focus on. Because when you say the Mandalorian, what do people say in return or think of?
You think of Baby Yoda.
Yeah. They don't think of the Mandalorian. So, you know...
Or like Hard Eyes. That best friend was great.
Yeah.
They did her real well.
So...
She's just a very one-dimensional character. They did her dirty.
Yes.
Caroline drives back to the house, and it is super late at night. She creeps into Ben's room to check on him. She checks on Ben, and then she's walking back to her bedroom, and Violet calls out from her closed bedroom door, "Good night." So she
basically being like, I can hear you out there, so make sure you don't fucking screw around. Good night.
So Caroline says goodnight, walks back towards her room. Her room is downstairs while Violet and Ben's rooms are upstairs. So she creeps back like she's going to the stairs, takes her shoes off, and then creeps back to the attic. You're just like, girl, I need you to stop. I don't know what else you want. At this point, you snuck into the room. You found the mirrors.
You saw that it was full of just random shit and some weird stuff.
What more? Your curiosity should be satiated. What is the problem here? In the morning, there's like a vase with roses in it, and she's taking that and goes to check on Ben and drops the vase when she opens Ben's door, and Caroline hung up a fucking mirror. You want to talk about crossing boundaries? Violet specifically stated, you can have a hand mirror for your own purposes. I don't want mirrors in my goddamn house.
Yeah. Fucking, yeah. That is a big... That to me is just straight up like, dude, like, are you trying to push? That's like a teenager trying to push to see, like, what limits they can get away with. It's like, you're an adult.
You're an adult and you work here.
Yeah.
Know your place, and I don't ever really say that lightly, but you are living and working in someone else's fucking home. There are boundaries to what you can and can't do, and redecorating outside of your room is not one you can do. She also specifically told you not to do any housework, so you can't even play this off as being housework.
Mm-hmm.
Violet goes and bangs on Caroline's door, getting her up, and not yells at her, but raises her voice and explains, I told you, you fucking heard me. What is wrong with you? Why did you do this? And Caroline just comes back with, well, I found them, and I wanted one in my bathroom, so then have one in your bathroom. Don't go put them around the freaking house.
Yeah. I don't know why I get it.
Me freaking insane. Then Caroline confronts her about the hoodoo room, and she threatens to leave if Violet doesn't explain everything. And this is such a weird threat, because Violet has already fired multiple girls. Multiple nurses have left. So what kind of threat is this? She couldn't care less.
Yeah.
But Violet explains. Anyways, they go out and sit by the swamp. She's smoking. She
lights up an old Black and Mild, but, you know, no wooden tip. It's just the cigar.
Oh yeah, Violet's a big smoker, by the way. She makes a point of, I heard you don't smoke. Well, I do, and I do it often, and I do it in my home, so if it bothers you, get the fuck out, pretty much.
Yep.
So they go sit by the swamp, and Violet explains the more complete history of the house.
Yeah.
She explains about Papa Justify and Mama Cecile, how they were healers and also servants. They were very renowned in the community for healing and for hurting the mean. Like, the very much... they take care of the sick, they hurt the mean people. They're very community-based people. They want to protect their own. They're healers. They... Also, there's something else, and I didn't write it down, and I forgot because I watched this movie 2 days ago. But they're just really renowned in their community. However, they are servants to a wealthy plantation owner, white man.
Yep.
So obviously they are not treated well at all. One night, there is a big cocktail party. Everyone's drinking. The house is
bunch of
full.
big landowners, business owners,
Stereotypical.
The rich of the rich, you know, all getting together and hanging out, partying together, because they got nothing better to do.
I do love how the party sequence is filmed, because it's, like, overlapped where you see the image multiple times, because it feels like they're trying to make you feel drunk as the party is being filmed.
Yeah.
And as the story goes, there were a few guests who wanted to say goodnight to the children before they left as it was getting late. Well, the children weren't in their beds, and so these drunk adults decided to make a game out of who can find the children first. Mm-hmm. But as the game wore on, more adults got concerned as they couldn't find the kids.
Mm-hmm.
Well, someone finds them up in the attic, where there is a hoodoo circle in candles going around with
Papa Justify is seizuring out.
Is he?
Yeah. Well, he's like, you know.
I thought that was later.
This is when they find them in the attic. When they find the children in them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I thought he started, like, freaking out later. Like, once they start taking him downstairs.
No, it was, like, in the attic.
Well, they...
Because they, like, grab him as he's, like, you know, fucking
Gotcha.
freaking out.
What the conclusion ends up being is that the servants were teaching the kids hoodoo.
Yeah.
And the kids try to take the blame, saying we wanted to learn, you know, don't hurt them type deal.
But all these filthy rich white people took these folks out into the front yard and hung them up and then...
Lit them on fucking fire.
Not just that. These drunk people would, like, douse them in alcohol. One, like, puts a bunch of alcohol in their mouth and then, like, spits it on them. And then they light them on fire.
All while the kids watch, by the way.
Yeah. I mean, the most harrowing part of watching this scene is just realizing that, like, you're kind of just watching history play out. Because, like, that's exactly the kind of shit that happened. A bunch of rich white people get together, get drunk, and...
do whatever the fuck they want.
It's like Sinners style, where he, like, shows up at the fucking, you know...
I haven't seen Sinners.
Oh, my... What?
Yeah, I know.
Holy fuck.
Yeah, it was all the rage. I have not seen it yet.
The movie's so good.
I keep hearing that. Because Violet even explains they got away with it. They had the money to. No one cares about some random servants. Doesn't matter how good or renowned they were in their community. Like, money's gonna win. The father of the family ends up killing the mother and then killing himself. And the people in the community are like, yeah, that's Papa Justify getting his revenge, asshole. The kids end up staying in the house until 62 when Violet and Ben ended up buying the place. She says, you don't just clean out a room like that. You look at it, you lock it, you leave it alone. Which, what are you gonna do? I'm not touching that. I'm not messing.
You think I'm gonna disturb all this shit?
Yeah.
No. For all I know, that could be the heart of the house, and as soon as I remove something, it could all crumble. Mm-hmm. You know, that's when shit's gonna go bad, because you've disrupted everything. Yeah. Yeah,
I'm not doing it. I'm on Violet's side right now, you know? This all makes sense to me.
Yeah.
She then explains it's why they also don't have mirrors in the house. The way she phrases it exactly is the kids never explained why that room was locked and why there were no mirrors in the house. But now we know. You see them in the mirrors.
Yeah.
You see Papa Justify and Mama Cecile.
Oh.
And Caroline starts trying to talk over Violet and it keeps saying, you can't expect me to believe this. There's no way you think this is real, stuff like that. Well, Violet is talking about the brick dust, and that's the red brick dust. If you put it around, that's supposed to help keep, you know, your enemies out. It's supposed to protect you. And that she did a whole circle around the entire house, and that should work. And this entire next paragraph is just me screaming at Caroline because
all right, let's hear it.
What kind of nurse just disses someone's belief system this fucking hard? Are you kidding me? I have heard anecdotal stories of nurses talking to Satanist or Buddhist or whoever and just talking about, especially when someone's dying, if that's their belief, just let them believe it, man.
Yeah, you can. When your husband, when you are taking care of someone's husband who is dying, and their belief system includes all of this shit, or it doesn't matter what their belief system includes, you let that be the comfort that they need in that time, because I'm sorry, if there's any time in your life where you're gonna think about the afterlife, It's going to be when someone around you is dying or just died.
Yeah, dude, like...
Like, it's going to be the only fucking thing on your brain for, like, a week.
For me, it's...
Yeah,
like,
I get
someone...
it. No, I'm so glad you pointed that out because I didn't even realize it. But that pisses me off.
It pissed me off.
I would have had my own paragraph if I wrote notes.
Yeah, because what the hell is wrong with you? You just don't do that. Like, if I was helping take care of someone, because, you know, I'll probably end up taking care of my mom when she starts getting old and that kind of stuff, and we'll probably end up having Liz's mom, and they're both... Liz's mom kind of leads in this weird in-between of Catholic and Christian, and my mom's very heavily Christian, and if they want me to pray with them, I'm gonna pray with them. It's their belief system, it makes them feel safe, it gives them comfort. I don't believe in it, but that has no bearing on what makes someone else feel
That doesn't matter.
good.
It doesn't matter if you believe in it.
Exactly. And how dare... I just could not... This is why you don't have your nursing degree. Fuck you. I got so angry with that.
Yeah.
Violet ends the conversation by saying, now you're gonna leave like all of the rest did. So her threat is, again, meaningless because Violet didn't want to tell you this because she didn't want you to leave in the first place, but now she, you know, it's just...
She's like, alright, fucking go, just like the rest of them now that you know.
That...
Either deal with it or don't. And it's like, you know, at that point, just lean into it. But that's not real life. It's a horror movie. There's got to be spooky things and a conflict and resolution.
Otherwise, it's not a compelling.
Yeah.
How dare they? That night, Caroline is taking in the washings from the line, and she stops by the tool shed where she does find a trough of red brick dust. Which, good way to do it. In the morning, she's talking shit to Ben about his wife. Pretty much saying, oh, your wife thinks there are ghosts and that this happened to you. How you got, what did she call her? A conspiracy theory or some kind of... she's talking shit about this man's wife to him.
Yeah.
Again, this leans into, I hate the way she talks to Ben. Like, he's not cognizant about what the hell's going on. Especially after you just watch this man climb out a window. Like, you know he's there.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, it didn't hit me, and maybe it's just because when I watch a movie like this, I'm like, yeah, okay, like they're having this conversation now, obviously, because it's gonna lead to the next thing. Mm-hmm. But then when you bring it up as if like it's an actual thing and like how people should interact, I'm like, you're right. What the fuck, man? Why is Caroline an asshole?
Caroline's a fucking asshole. This entire movie, she is an asshole.
I would definitely... There's, like, if I was Violet, I would have fired her already.
Yeah.
But there's also other reasons why, you know, maybe Violet wouldn't want to fire her.
Yeah, well, I have some theories.
I mean, like, you know.
Well, I have some, like, that play into it as well.
Oh, I see.
That I have some other reasonings why I think she might...
It's like, there is a reason that she didn't fire her.
There's a very big reason. But I also have some other thoughts on it as well.
Yeah, no, I can't wait to hear, because I agree this movie is very good for speculation. Because, like, you can pick apart so much of it. They give you not an overflow of breadcrumbs where it feels too easy, but, like, they give you a lot of shit to hold on to, and not in the way where you lose it. It's just like you pick it all up, and then when you get to certain points in the movie, they hit their marks, and you know it's all just...
It's a very easy movie in the way of you don't have to... You get your answers. You get 90% of your answers, I feel like, in a very cohesive timeline that doesn't feel like you're waiting too long or it was given too early. It hits all of the right beats when it should hit. Yeah,
it doesn't feel rushed at certain parts. Like, it's all on time, pretty much.
So, I've neglected to mention, she's talking shit about Violet while she's giving Ben a bath. She ends up getting soap in her eyes, and so she pulls out her little compact mirror to get it out. And Ben is staring at the mirror, like, sideways, because he can't really move his head, and he's kind of just glancing at it.
This struck me. This was the one where, like, it didn't take you having to say anything. I was like, bro, why'd you do that?
Yeah, and so what she's saying while she has this mirror and she sets it up on the Clawfoot bathtub and is saying, oh, Violet says you see him in the mirrors, something, whatever, and then she slowly drags the mirror along the Clawfoot bathtub, and you can see Ben flinch away from it. He does not want.
And he's staring at it the whole time.
It's not great. So she turns it on him, and he freaking like starts seizing.
He freaks the fuck out.
Yeah.
And she immediately, like, she runs and closes the door. Obviously, it's for, like, Violet not to hear anything. And she runs over and, like, grabs him and tries to calm him down. And she's like, I'm so sorry. And I'm like, bitch, this is one of those moments in life where it's too late for sorries. You shouldn't have done it in the first place.
Yeah.
It's simple as that.
She says, oh, you see them too, or something. I'm sorry you see them too, something like that. And it's just like...
You kind of gathered that, though. Like, Caroline, you gathered that. And then the viewers saw you kind of put that together yourself. So for you to have to... I mean, if you had to confirm it... just put up a fucking mirror and stare long enough. Like, don't torture the old man who's on hospice.
Yeah, it's not great. I don't know why you would do this.
It's fine. It's not fine, but,
no,
you know.
it's not. She's just bad at her job.
Maybe that's why at the fucking hospital, people were just like, yeah, whatever. Just fucking do it. Like, do your thing, because we know that you're just... Maybe that's the secret all along.
Maybe.
Caroline's just...
She needs to go be a dental assistant. It's just... this is not for you.
That is funny.
She tells Violet she's going into town, and Violet asks her a few times why. She just ignores her. She goes to the laundromat, and my notes, again, 50% of my notes are just screaming about this. You're messing with shit you shouldn't be. Mm-hmm. And you're just diving in deeper. Yep. So there's a room that leads off the laundromat that has some beads and stuff. It's got a brick dust barrier in the doorway, as we've seen before. She goes in, waits for... I don't know if they're called practitioners or not when it comes to voodoo. For Wicca and Wiccans, you know, that's usually the term. We say practitioners or the practice of. So I don't know with voodoo, but the shopkeep, at least, is what I go with, just so I'm not using incorrect terms here, is already with a different client. Yeah. Who is talking about she's getting beat by someone, and so she's here for remedies on how to, for that kind of stuff, and Caroline waits her turn and then compares brick dust to hypnotism. Yeah. It pretty much says this is all psychosomatic. You know, if someone believes this kind of stuff, what would you do to help them? She kind of explains what happens to Ben a little bit. And this lovely woman stares at her and starts humming and puts a basket together for her real quick. Yep. About everything that she would need for this.
She then goes to meet up with her friend, right?
Yeah.
They're going over the information together.
Yeah, they're at their flat again, at their apartment.
And I can't remember her friend's name, I'm sorry.
Jill? What threw me off is I put Kill, and I was like, who dies right now?
Jill, yeah.
Jill's like, you lost your damn mind.
She's like, what the fuck? And the whole time, Caroline's trying to explain, like, well, you know, like, if someone believes in something truly 100%, then, like, maybe... Jill's like, dude, this guy's dying. Like, your job was to show up and help him die. And she's like, but I don't think he's, like, I think he can get better. You know, and it's this whole back and forth.
Jill says, he's not your dad.
Yeah, which immediately... Or almost immediately after, Jill's like, I'm sorry.
I shouldn't have said that. That was too far.
Yeah. But which... It's kind of fair, though. Like, you can't... Because obviously, like, by now, you've seen heavy doses of Caroline with this sort of savior complex, right? Where, like, even in the beginning, and she's in the hospital, she seems like the superhero among these basic-ass workers who don't give a shit about the general populace. And it's, yeah, but then, like,
She's just a bleeding heart and wants to help people, but she's in the literal business of dying.
Yeah.
She picked hospice.
You chose the wrong profession to save people, my guy. You know, if you wanted to work in a hospital, do the part of that job that you actually do save people.
I think that's what was supposed to be implied by her saying she's going to go back to nursing school.
It's because that's what she wants to do, but I'm assuming maybe hospice care doesn't require, like, a full...
You might just need certifications.
Yeah, which makes sense only because I think of Dr. Sleep.
Caroline also says, if I'm not attached to them, I'm abandoning them, which is not the proper mindset to have in this business.
Yeah, that's insane.
This is bad for your mental health.
That all or nothing thinking. First of all, you should almost never have that all or nothing thinking. Unless it's in a very, like, positive, motivational, like, get you to do the thing you want to do kind of thing. But, like, that's just dangerous.
Especially in healthcare.
Yeah, in healthcare, no. You have to be able to...
You have to compartmentalize.
Yeah. You have to go through that whole range. You can't just be here in the middle or you know, all the way down here just fucking, you know, putting it all away. Like, you have to...
You have to balance that shit, man. You
Yeah.
just do. But this is where you really feel like she's using Ben as a surrogate for taking care of her dad.
1,000%. And so that's why I also say that Jill is justified in being like, he is not your dad.
Yeah, no, I think Jill was totally in the right, and she has a line when they are originally outside the laundromat together where Caroline calls her out on not wanting to go in because she's scared, and Jill's like, I might not believe, but I'm smart enough to not mess with it.
Yeah.
And agreed.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna mess with that. I don't know anything. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Nope, not happening. Back at the plantation, Caroline gets a bowl full of water, puts a cross candle in it, puts some herbs in the water, gets all of this stuff set up, takes it up to Ben's room, and again, in the same, like, explaining to Ben in a way that he's not fully there, like, I think you can heal from this, Ben. I promise you, actually, if you believe me, and I'm gonna make you all better. And just these promises that no healthcare person should ever make to someone.
Yeah, on hospice, especially.
Especially on hospice. And she has written instructions from the practitioner shopkeep about what she needs to be doing. She's got a big feather. She's putting anointing oils on this candle. She's got this whole, lack of a better term, ritual she needs to do about dipping her hands in the water and then touching his hands and then his shoulders and, like, washing away and all this kind of stuff. And then doing the smoke thing with the feather. And Ben's, like, has tears, or, like, one tear coming out of the side of his face. And a big thunder boom spooks her into thinking, like, something weird is happening. And Ben starts moving a little bit. You can see his hand move and, like, relax from across his chest. And he starts, like, croaking out sounds until he finally says Caroline. And that wakes up Violet, who has been asleep in front of the TV downstairs. You, like, just see her eyes open, and she's like, a disturbance in the force. And goes upstairs while Ben is just, like, saying, help me, help, Caroline, help.
Yeah, and she's like, help you how? And he's like, he says, like, get me out. Or get me away.
You see something like that? And Caroline also has the gall to say, it was all...
Yeah, oh my god.
Ugh. He asks to get him out of here.
And she's like, who are you trying to run from? Like, what the fuck?
This whole time, Violet's trying to, like, come into the room, and Caroline had to hurry up and sweep all of the hoodoo stuff away so Caroline didn't see it. Or, so Violet didn't see it. And then you hear Violet start to unlock the door and all of this stuff, and...
He goes to point towards the door...
As Violet opens it.
When she asks, who are you trying to get away from? And then it clicks. And you're like, oh. Although I will say, my suspicions were right about him wanting to get away from her, but I did not know why.
When did you start thinking that, like, that it was something with Violet that was affecting Ben?
When she came in, when Caroline was first talking to him, and then Violet came in and gave him his medicine, and was like, oh, you have to give it to him in liquid form because he can't, like, swallow. I was like, no, this bitch is drugging him. Like, this is what's that movie where...
Christine?
Is that the name? Where the lady, like, finds her favorite author with a broken foot out in the Alps and, like, takes him in and makes him better. That was the vibes that I was getting.
No, I was right. It's Misery. It's a Stephen King novel.
Yes, that's right.
A writer held captive.
Family Guy does a whole bit on it between Stewie and Brian.
Yeah.
That was the vibes that I got.
Christine is the car movie.
Like, pretty much immediately when she came in with the drugs in the water.
Yeah.
Especially in just, like, the way he, like, looked around.
It was also interesting to me because, like I stated earlier, my grandfather had a stroke, and Caroline also asks what side of the body did it affect, and he comes back with both. And I don't know how rare that is, but that feels rare to me.
I think that's rare, yeah.
But I could be wrong. I'm not...
I mean, I think for a stroke to, like, put someone under completely, I don't think that that's, like, unnatural, but I think it's a matter of, like, the stroke only affecting one side of the brain still, maybe. It was pretty immediate, so when he did that, like, when he started doing that, I was like, oh, fuck yeah.
She lies terribly about... She's the worst liar in the world. She lies about Ben struggling in his sleep, and she came to check on him, and then she has to pick up the bowl and be like, I brought water.
Yeah.
Violet pretty much just says, get the fuck away from him. You are not needed for the rest of the night.
Yeah, get the fuck out.
Caroline says something about coming back to give him his remedies, and she dismisses him and is like, get out. Like, I don't need you. And then locks the door to keep Violet out. Or to keep Caroline out. I say their names back and forth so much in my notes because it was either that or she said this to her. And so they keep getting the names flip-flopped.
You're good.
That night, while Caroline is sleeping, she's having nightmares in the form of flashbacks of the party we saw earlier of Justify and Cecile.
Yeah, creepy.
It's super weird.
And then at one point it cuts to her and she sits up in bed and she's got her eyes and mouth stitched closed.
Oh god, this scene was like...
yeah, and then she wakes up from the nightmare. But yeah, that was fucking creepy. I was like, Jesus, okay.
Yeah, there's a whole like scene of someone cutting her hair too for a lock of it.
Yeah.
Which, where have we seen this before?
I got slight... I don't think it was... Maybe it didn't have hair in the movie, but I did still get slight, like, bring her back vibes. A little bit. At least in the beginning.
I think it's, like, the folk magic because of, like, weapons, too. They have the whole hair motif in there. I feel like hair is a real big one for folk magic. Being used for, like, control purposes or those kinds of things. And so...
I still have nightmares about fucking weapons when the... lady shambling out of the house with the scissors.
God, she was so good.
If I walked out of my house and saw down at the end of the road someone doing that, I would run inside, lock the doors, lay down on my floor, and piss my pants and cry. I don't know, like, I'd be like, you know what, that's it. I don't want to even be alive anymore.
I wish I could say I'd even do that, but we all know my fight or flight response is freeze, so I'm getting my hair cut.
Yeah, she'll clip your hair and walk away and you'll be like, oh, okay. And then you'll rack up a $50,000 therapy bill.
Yeah.
Actually, no, you'll get controlled. Because otherwise, why else would they...
And then I don't have to worry about therapy, so win-win.
You're right. Look at that.
So she leans over and it's a radio. It looks like a portable DVD player, but I did pause the scene for it, and it's a radio CD player with a bunch of buttons. It's kind of wild. To check the time, and then moves her compact mirror that she's just left open, which this is a really nice compact mirror, because I don't know if you've seen your wife's, but those things usually just like fall flat in an instant. I guess she does have a metal one, but like, nice compact mirror. Mm-hmm. And she, like, moves it around and you see the shadow cross. And then as she's moving it, you can see Violet sneaking out her door.
It's not Violet.
It's Violet?
It's not Violet sneaking out the door.
Yeah.
I thought it was one of the ghosts.
Oh.
Because she sees it through the mirror. She sees the door close through the mirror.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's got Violet's clothes on, though. It looks like Violet's size.
I could have swore. It was dark. I mean,
some of these scenes are really dark.
Yeah.
You can tell it was 2005.
Yeah.
She goes out into the hall and calls out for Violet, trying to see if anyone's there. All of the lights are off. No one answers. In the morning, finally, girl is done. She is packing up. She's like, fuck this shit. It's not worth it. What am I even doing here? She's packing her stuff. And then as she's finishing packing, she looks over to little old Ben sitting on the porch watching it rain. And you're just, she's thinking of her dad. And this man is not your dad. Jill warned you. Like, you are so attached to the idea of, I guess, saving him. Yeah. I don't know what she plans to do.
At this point, yes. I think it switched from caring for him to, like, I need to save this man pretty quick.
Yeah, I just meant more in the hospice sense.
Oh, yeah, I get you.
In this sense, she's like, I need to get Ben out of here, but in a broad sense, what did you plan on doing? You can't save a man on hospice.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
She ends up taking all of this to Luke, barges into Luke's place. Is it Luke's house at this point? No, it's his office. Goes to his office, explains she thinks Violet's doing something, that, Ben is hurt because of Violet, goes off on the whole thing, and about hoodoo, and I love this with Luke, who says, yeah, my parents are pretty superstitious as well. We call them Baptists. And just like we've been talking about, it's the same with any religion. If you are not in that belief system, it sounds crazy to you. Because Caroline even comes back with, well, this is different. Why? Because you don't believe it?
Yeah.
Because you weren't raised with it?
Even people who aren't religious still believe in things that other people don't. That belief still is a core of who you are and how you decide to go about the world. When people shut you down on that shit, doesn't it piss you off? Yeah. Wow, I can imagine it piss you off. So maybe don't do that to other people, because that's how it makes them feel.
I did write in my notes, though. You're right, Caroline, this is different. I believe in hoodoo more than I do Christianity. You're correct.
Yeah, honestly, or at least this form of Christianity. Whatever the fuck they turned it into no, we're not going to go there.
She then says she has to know why the last nurse quit. So Luke doesn't tell her, goes and finds this other nurse at work to have her explain to Caroline why she left. And this nurse grew up in Louisiana. Her mom, good head on her shoulders, is like, you are not staying at that job. That plantation is haunted. Shit be weird. You get your ass out of there. And she listened to her mom. Yeah. Because when your mom tells you stuff like this, like, you listen. Yeah. Mom knew about the history of the house, too. And was like, leave. Yeah. And the nurse tells her that, no room. That's right. No hoodoo room put a curse on Ben. It was that woman. Nurse is like, Violet did something, and that's all I know, and I wasn't sticking around to find out. Caroline then asks, like, well, I thought it couldn't hurt you if you didn't believe in it. And the nurse comes back with, then you better leave before you do. Meaning, you better leave before you start believing in it. Yeah, which is such a great line, because, like, you don't have a rebuttal to that. It's just simply, like, you could say it's not real again, but that... She's not wrong. She's not wrong. Like, if the whole thing is you have to believe for it to work, and you're even inkling, and she's already kiltered in believing because she even went to the hoodoo shop. Like, she's tilted that way already.
Yeah.
You are very much in the zone of almost believing. Get out.
Even on a chance. It's just not worth your life, right? You're like the one thing that you have. It's not worth gambling over being right. You can, like, okay, you can live on in blissful ignorance thinking you're right and just still leave. I don't know. Having hindsight in some of these horror movies can be so frustrating.
It is, especially with how we live our lives, just trying to put ourselves in these situations and just being like, you've had so many red flags, and now you have another person telling you, get out while you can, and you're still choosing to stay.
To be fair, the difference between us and Caroline is I don't think Caroline's been to a day of therapy in her life.
No.
And so, you know, yeah, when we watch these movies, half the time it's us just being like, this isn't how you talk to your husband or wife. This isn't how you should, like, yeah, this
isn't effective communication.
Yeah, it's so funny, but I mean, that wouldn't make for a good horror movie protagonist because they'd be too smart to fucking, you know.
I think the thing is, less hindsight and more we have such good movies now where I'm not questioning the protagonist all the time.
That's also fair, though, because, like, Weapons is a great example. When you're in that position of, like, the teacher, you don't agree with her being a fucking alcoholic and, like, drinking and driving and drinking at school. And stalking a child. But also, they frame it in such a way where you're like, I understand. And I totally get where you're going. And, like, the hardships that you're dealing with, I wouldn't, you know.
Bring Her Back is also a really good one.
Yes.
For the older brother.
Oh, my God.
And even the foster mom, you understand where everyone's coming from. Do you agree with them? No, but like
that moral pull is what makes those movies so good, because you're not sitting there at the end with a clear-cut villain. You're sitting there at the end feeling shitty almost, because, but not in a bad way, but like in the way that horror movies make you sit there and think about like
just everything. Like, what would you do when you were pushed beyond your breaking point?
What would you do when the existential dread hits 11 on that scale and you break? What do you do when you are standing there faced with the fact that this is your life for the rest of your life? In cases where horror movies end badly, where it's just like, there is no happy ending. Everyone's dead. The monster wins. Like,
Oculus.
Not everyone gets a happy ending. Oculus's ending is depressing.
For Caroline specifically, I do want to put a pin in her character and bring it back at the end after we have a few more answers. It goes along with my other theory about why Violet wanted to keep her around. She and Luke drive back to the house, and she has him stop by that same gas station, explains the red brick dust in front, the bones, explains that, pretty much saying the backwoods are, I can't remember the exact term she used, is it infested, overrun with, believing that this is real.
Yeah.
And you can hear the Papa Justify record playing again, so they follow it and walk into someone else's house. It's another building on the property of the gas station, but they just wander right in. And I love Luke's line of like looking at her and being like, Mama raised a gentleman, and makes her go first.
Yeah.
Because why are you just walking into someone's freaking house?
Yeah.
And she doesn't stop there, because she walks in and she talks and is talking about Papa Justify, and the old woman who's sitting with her back to them says there's no record here, there's no nothing. And then Caroline just waltzes in and then starts looking through all of her albums, all of her records. I'm just like, what is loose in your brain that this is an okay activity to do?
Yeah. Again, I think the director may just not have had... I think he had an idea of, like, this is the character, and this is what I want the character... Like, this is... Then the character... Like, the main character is going to do this, and this is how they're going to figure this out. I don't think they really thought through, like, is this how a person acts?
It's a very, 1% of the population, I think, would do this. And again, back to putting a pin in these choices, it all correlates at the end.
You know what? I think, I might have something that we may say the same thing, honestly. But yeah, it's kind of all fitting together.
She then asks if this woman has the conjure of sacrifice, and the woman's like, Caroline says she has it, and the woman comes back with, if you had it, you wouldn't be saying that, because that's the pretty much the eternal youth that lets you live forever, or live for a long time. Keeps you from dying by sacrificing someone and taking the years they have left.
Yeah.
That's how she describes it. It starts raining again. She and Luke run out and fight about what to do with Ben. And Luke's like, what are you going to do? Just kidnap him? Like, give me some time. I need to call police. I need to get all of these people, and no one's going to happen until morning. And she's like, cool, then I've got the night. He's like, okay, at least get some damn evidence. Like, you're just spewing stuff. We have nothing to say. Violet's done shit. At the house, we cut to Violet cutting Ben's hair again.
In the kitchen,
and she's cooking up some nice gumbo, and she pulls out Papa Justify's book, and then tears a page from it and folds it up, puts it in her apron, and you're like, oh no, there's some stuff happening. And they also have, like, for the gumbo, there's a chicken out, and that always, for me, because of the way we're taught the voodoo hoodoo situation, I always associated chickens with it. Mm-hmm. And so that being out also felt like some
but it was
crafting was happening, but it was on the stove for, like, food.
Not initially. She chops up
She chops off the feet
of a not good looking chicken. It still has, like, feathers and shit on it.
Yeah, it's not completely defeathered.
It's like she did not get a chicken breast from, or like a whole chicken body from the store.
She, like, killed her chicken in the backyard.
Yeah. Again, like you said, that kind of stuff screams hoodoo, because, animal sacrifice, or, like, blood, or
actually sacrifice.
I don't think they do either.
I know, like, there are blood rituals in a lot of different religions and folk magic and stuff. I just don't know enough about hoodoo to say that this is, like, they cut chickens and bleed them dry and do the whole ritual.
Yeah, I think when they do use chickens, I don't necessarily think it's for sacrifice. I think it might be for, like, the feet, or, like, the parts, you know what I mean? They're like,
I feel like it's a very
like, chicken gizzard for some reason would, like, be in, like, a spell.
It's like a, what's the word? Not like a, it feels very much like a hunter, where you use all of the parts you can use.
Yes.
That's how I feel about what I know about
They
hoodoo.
ate as much of the chicken as they could, and they used the rest for spell.
Like, yeah, you use everything you can from the parts, and it does have that feel. What I was reading up on it did say it hoodoo has, like, a mixture of, like, the Haitian voodoo mixed with indigenous practice in the States and, like, stuff like that, and using all the parts feels very indigenous to me. It probably is also very Haitian. I feel like most people are very good about, if I'm going to kill a thing, I'm going to use all of it.
There are a lot of places in the world who utilize every part of the animal.
And it's not by making chicken nuggets.
Nope.
The note she takes out has chalk, sulfur, blood, hair recipe on the top. It doesn't say recipe, but it has all of that on the top, and you don't get to see what the bottom says, but it has, like, the summoning circle thing on it. Caroline goes to her room to find the album, and she can't find the album that she stole. And in my head, I'm like, yeah, the sheet that had helped me on it wasn't in your cabinet. Like, why would you think your room is a safe place if...
Yeah, if the shit's been tampered with.
Yeah, but I think, I don't know, she kind of brushed it aside that she might have imagined the whole help me thing, which is is wild, but that is something I feel like people do in those situations when you don't have the physical proof. You're just like, maybe I imagined it, I guess.
Yeah.
But Caroline goes out to the shed and she steals some of the brick dust, and then you're like, oh no, if you're stealing brick dust to use, you are in the camp of you believe this works. Mm-hmm. And now it's too late. You should have left by this point.
Yeah.
She lays a line of brick dust down in front of her, on the inside of her door, and then lays the carpet over it so you can't see it. then calls out to Violet to come look at a leak in the ceiling, and Violet stops at the door and does not go in any further. And Caroline pushes this multiple times for her to come in, and I'm like, she didn't come in the first 2 times. Why are you pushing it like 3 more?
Yeah.
I feel like she could have stopped, but then she makes the whole situation weird by just continuously pushing.
She's like, I just really think you should come look at this up close. And Violet's like, no, it's fine. I trust you. Like, you do your thing. And then she's like, well, I need something, like a tool maybe. I don't remember.
I don't know. And then Violet asks,
holds it out.
Holds out a rag and is like, oh, do you want this for the sill? Doesn't go into the room, and Caroline holds out her hand like, yeah, I'll take it.
Bring it to me.
Violet laughs, and the tea kettle goes off, and she's like, I'm gonna go make some tea.
Mm-hmm.
And says that she wants to have her for dinner, that they should have done this nights ago. When Caroline first got here, they should have sat down for like a formal dinner, had the whole, I guess, introduction night, or just, Southern hospitality. It's your first night here, let's have a good dinner. Yeah.
They're at the dinner table, right? Next.
Yeah.
And this is so awkward.
It's one of those long dining tables, and but we see this before they sit down for dinner. Caroline doses multiple of the sugar cubes in the sugar container. That's right. Because Violet always puts sugar cubes in her tea. And when I say tea, it's sweet tea. It's like a glass of tea. It's not a cup of tea, a mug of tea, a teacup of tea. Yeah. Now they're at the table, sitting across from each other at this long-ass table. Caroline refuses to touch the gumbo because she thinks Violet did something to the gumbo, and Violet is not putting the sugar cubes in her tea, and you kind of get the inkling that she thinks that
Caroline's onto her.
Or messing with something.
Yeah.
Because Caroline, again, pushes the thing, and she's like, you're not going to have sugar in your tea? You always have sugar in your tea. Why wouldn't you want to have sugar in your tea tonight? She's like, I just don't want tea in my... Or I don't want sugar in my tea. It's fine. She's
like, I don't want tea tonight. I'm not feeling it. Or something like that. Yeah. Fucking very just like...
She's being very suspicious, is what she's doing.
Yeah.
They argue more about the ghosts and seeing them in the mirror and whether or not they believe. It's a whole, again, just situation where I feel like Caroline's forcing issues that she shouldn't force. Just eat your gumbo and get on with it. The electricity goes out. Violet goes to get some candles. Caroline's been trying to dismiss herself from dinner for the past few sentences, and it's not happening. And while Violet leaves, she also takes the sugar container with the cubes in it and takes it away, and Caroline looks at her like, oh fuck. So she laces her tea instead, just dumps half this vial into her tea. Yeah, and Violet pushes more about the electric too, being like, oh, was that the storm or ghosts? Just dismissing this woman's fucking belief systems again. Whether or not you think she's hurting her husband, you're putting yourself in a compromising situation. You're being just a straight up dick. Yeah. Why?
Yeah, I don't get it either.
She straight up ends up asking Violet, what did you do to Ben? And my notes got, cut.
Oh, shit.
No, just, the sentence is cut in half. Violet's response to the, what did you do to him is, I'm his wife, I will do whatever the fuck I want to him. Yeah. And Caroline just then keeps saying, Ben's not safe here with you. He needs, it's weird. She's pretty much kidnapping Ben from his wife. Yeah. And in any sane situation, if this was not what we know it is, she needs to be arrested. Yeah. Violet gets up, and the drugs are kicking in. She's swaying, and she ends up collapsing. And she pulls out a piece of chalk from her apron and says, you don't let him leave this house, you won't take him with you. And she's trying to draw a chalk circle, and she pulls out the recipe from her apron, and you see it has protection on it. Caroline steals it, then ransacks Violet's room, taking jars of brick dust and just so much shit. And then under her bed she sees one of those circles, and you're just like, oh fuck, what's happening? Yeah. She gets Ben into his wheelchair, and instead of taking the lift, she wheels him down manually down the stairs, which I don't really know if that's going to be faster or not, but sure.
Also, to trust your own strength enough
to not tip him.
Yeah. To not just yeah.
Yeah, could not be me. I would take the lift. She gets him into his
So
car.
you drugged Violet. Like, what? Do you think the drugs are going to wear off in 5 minutes?
I don't know.
I'm sorry.
No, I'm like in the same boat. Like I'm trying to think of how long it took her to ransack Violet's room and then get Ben dressed.
Because she did it pretty quick. I mean, how long does it take to get an old man dressed?
I don't know. Is he naked?
I don't know. We should ask Liz. Is he naked?
Is he naked? Where's his Jackie? That's what the other one is. She hates when you do E's.
Oh my god.
On words. So she gets him into the car and then drives down to the gate, and this gate is never closed, and it is closed and chain padlocked shut this time. Violet knew what was going on. She had this plan from the start, man. Mm-hmm. She rams it once with her VW little bug and gets the gate bent open a little bit, and then she like rewinds? What? Reverses. And then tries to go again, and whatever she does, she loses control of this freaking vehicle. It's a straight line, my guy. I don't know what she did. She runs
into a giant planter. I mean, it's just like...
Poor Ben is getting tossed around.
He's just sitting there like...
Violet ends up waking up around this time, and she gets a shotgun from above the mantle, because you live in the South. Of course there's a shotgun in the house somewhere.
Yes.
Caroline puts Ben in the shed and covers him with a tarp, saying, "We just have to hide you. I'll come back for you." And could you imagine being immobile and some woman just laying you in a shed, covering you with a tarp, that if she doesn't come back for you, no one is?
Oh no, my first thought on that floor would be like, I'm gonna die on this floor.
Yeah, you just gotta lay there and die, I guess. Caroline goes to the rowboat, and Violet shoots at her once or twice and misses, and she rows herself down to a house that's having a house party, gets a ride to Luke's house in the middle of the night, where she dumps all of the stuff she collected from Violet's room onto his couch, is explaining everything, and he comes over and he's like, "Slow the fuck down, what are you talking about? Go from the beginning, my guy, like, what?" And then he gets a phone call, and it's Violet, and he turns on his little tape recorder, and he's like, "I'm gonna go record this over here." And he goes into another room to record the conversation. And she starts snooping. Again. And not just like, this man has bookshelves and things on his bookshelves, you know, and if I was in his room, I'd look around on the bookshelves to the things you have displayed, because that's why people have displayed. She starts moving shit around his desk and looking at his records and finds pretty much laws and, wills and trusts for dummies and law for beginners and all this kind of stuff, and you're just like, oh... What?
Yeah.
Then there are a bunch of, like, candid PI photos of her. There's a 3-snake ring and a broken skeleton key that she, again, snooping. Yeah. And you're like, oh, Luke's a part of it.
Yeah.
And he comes up behind her and starts choking her out.
That one, I want to say that I like, had an inkling, because I think I did, but it was very subtle. Mm. It was like, this guy's not just here for nothing. But maybe, because sometimes they put that character in, and then that character actually does end up, like, helping the main character later, you know what I mean? So that's why, I think that's when my brain kind of, like, shut it off. But then when I saw that, I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, makes sense, right? And she wakes up in the car with her mouth gagged, and they're back at the plantation. Luke is talking about... Oh, they're on their way back to the plantation, I'm sorry. On the way there, Luke is driving, and he's talking about how looking around makes it feel like a whole new world or rebirth, or almost like dying. Except I wouldn't know what that's like, and you're just like, what? That's a weird... What?
Yeah.
That's, I feel like a semi-breadcrumb, depending on where your brain is at in this movie. And it's either a breadcrumb or, like, something you piece back at the end of the movie, depending on how your brain functions this movie.
Mm-hmm.
He has to physically drag her back inside, where Violet's like, she hid Ben, we gotta find him before we can do everything. Caroline says, you want me, you want to sacrifice me, and they kind of just ignore her, saying, yeah, we can't do shit, like, everything's set up except we need Ben, like, we can't... She doesn't really exist in this moment, they don't give a shit about what she's saying. Caroline makes the executive decision to say where he is, so she tells them where Ben is. Violet goes to get Ben. then she convinces Luke that she just wants to die with a picture of her dad, so she bolts into her bedroom, shuts the door behind her, and there's the freaking dirt line for starters, but then now we also have a door between them. Luke goes to shoot the door, and it's a double-barrel shotgun that you get 2 shots, my guy. And there are no shells left in there. You're done.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, a lot of stuff happens really rapidly, so that's why I'm not saying anything. It's kind of just like getting through some of this stuff.
Oh, and while that was happening, she was trying to buy time by, like, telling Luke, oh, you're doing this because she's teaching you, she doesn't actually care about you, blah, blah, blah. She's trying to, like, buy time while she's sneaking in there. Violet gets Ben from the shed, where he tries to attack her with some shears, but obviously he's really weak, and that doesn't work. Then the whole bedroom door thing happens. She breaks out the window, and cuts her binds on the shattered glass of the window while Luke is running through the house trying to get to where she is. And then she runs right into Violet, who is like, she's right fucking there. She climbs the trellis. We've talked about this in other movies. Don't climb the trellis, especially this one is attached to 2 points. That shit's gonna break. It's not like the trellis in Black Christmas where that seemed like it was attached to the entire house the whole way up.
There's like a design choice built into the house. That's not what this is.
This one's attached at the gutters and at the ground. This is not a sturdy thing to be climbing.
Nope.
She gets all the way back up the stairs and she is putting bread dust? What is happening?
We're almost there.
She is lining every entryway and doorway and all this stuff with brick dust. And she's spending way too much for this, by the way. I think she's using way too much. I know she's in a hurry, but like if you need to ration this shit, my girl, like if this is what's supposed to get you through the night, like get to where you want to be and do it. Stop wasting it on random doorways.
Do a sea bear circle. Just make a circle around yourself that's like 5 feet wide.
I was thinking just pick a room.
That too.
But she goes upstairs.
I guess they are shooting at her.
Yeah, that's what I was like, you need some type of... I would have picked a room or something. And it works because Luke can't pass it. He enters multiple ways and saying like, oh, I can't get to the stairs, oh, I can't go this way. Like, it's working.
Yeah, he's like shouting to Violet, being like, she's here! Being like, I can't get to her! You know, as she's like running up the stairs. Yeah.
Yeah, and while she gets all the way upstairs and runs right into Violet, and spry old lady here, I don't know how she got upstairs.
Yeah, I don't know.
They get into a fight, and I don't know what happens. There's lots of movement, and Caroline tosses Violet down the stairs off the railing. This splats on the main floor ground, and you're just like, oh, that hurt.
Uh-huh.
Caroline does have a brief moment of, oh my god, what did I just do? Before she realizes that she's still in trouble.
Yep.
She grabs the landline, locks herself in a room, and calls the cops. Then calls 911, and calls 911, and then calls Jill. And while she's calling 911, the lift starts moving. You're like, oh no, the lift. She didn't block off the lift interest. They don't need to be next to the stairs if they can just go up the lift. And she's telling Jill, I need your help. This is where I am. Everything is real. Like, she believes it all. This is where she is. Violet army crawls her way down the hall to the room, drags her way to the door. The room Caroline locked herself in is like the entryway to the attic. And so she gets up into the attic proper where there's the ritual we saw earlier already set up with all the candles and all of the mirrors and all of these things. Mm-hmm. She decides to follow the recipe she stole from Violet by setting it up in the middle of this pre-set up candle circle, which seems like a bad idea to me, but go off, queen, I guess. She does blood. She finds the chalk. She finds the sulfur. She does all of this. She grabs a bunch of... all of these ingredients are here.
Yeah. And
so she does a circle, and then she cuts her hair, and she splatters her own blood on there, and does the sulfur thing, and I'm just like, you don't know what this is.
Yeah. If it was set up when that hadn't been set up before, don't you think that, oh, maybe someone else intended to use that?
For maybe this purpose.
Maybe the bad person intended to use that. I don't know. Violet
drags her way in and says, well, child, I think you broke my legs. And drags herself up using a mirror. Violet has... my god. Caroline has a knife and is pointing it around. saying, "You see this? This is a protection circle. You can't get in here." And Violet laughs, saying, "The only thing that protects you from leaving it. That does nothing. This is exactly what we wanted, right?"
Yeah.
Violet explains they've been waiting for her to believe because it doesn't work unless you believe, and the super proves she believes, and then she starts chanting, "I don't believe." Violet turns a mirror towards her, where it flashes the sister from the original, and then it flashes Cecile at one point, and then it goes through everyone until it shows Violet, and then it goes back to Caroline, and the lights are at... This is a lot.
It's a lot.
Violet screams, and then the mirror flashes as Violet, then Mama Cecile again, and then the mirror gets flung at Caroline.
Mm-hmm.
And everything, like, stills for a second.
Well, it hits her and knocks her down.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, yeah. Hits her, knocks her down, glass shatters everywhere. Then everything's still. And the lights slowly start trickling back on, and Caroline wakes up, and she looks over at Violet's body, and takes one of those cigarettes, and takes that lighter, and lights one up, and I'm just like, yeah, that makes sense, until she says, "Thank you, child."
In a southern accent.
And Luke comes in and says, "You all right, Cecile?" And you're just like, oh.
Uh-huh.
And Cecile's like, "I told you I wanted a black one this time," which I don't feel comfortable saying that, but that is a direct quote from the movie.
Yes, it's okay. It's a quote. Which,
and,
like, I get it. I want to be in my own skin, right? Like, you want to be comfortable.
Yeah, but Luke makes the point that they never stay.
Yeah.
Because the nurse they talked to earlier, the one with her mom, was also a black woman who was smart enough to get the fuck out, and so Luke's proving the point of they're too smart to stay in a house where they know shit goes wrong.
Yep.
And he explains, "But it looks good on you. Like, it looks better than everyone we've had so far."
Yeah, names off random people to just give you an idea that, like, they've done this a couple times.
Mm-hmm. Names off Grace and Violet, and I think it's at least those two. I don't know if he says another one.
And then the cops arrive.
Yeah, the cops arrive, and you can hear Caroline talking to the EMTs about what happened. Like, "Oh, we just thought it was a fall, but it's much more serious than we thought."
And then Jill comes up. She's like, "What the hell? What happened?" And
obviously...
Caroline's like, "I called you?"
Obviously does not recognize who the fuck this bitch is.
Yeah.
Luke introduces himself, and so when Jill says, "I'm Jill, her roommate," Cecile, as Caroline, is like, "Oh, right, yeah, no, I super called you. They just need real help now. I mean, I can't do this anymore." Caroline also says, "Oh, this is, like, my fault. I should have been better." And then asks if Jill will ride in the ambulance with the Devereaux while her and Luke meet her at the hospital. And Jill's like, "Yeah, whatever you need, I guess." And you get this shot of Caroline getting wheeled into the ambulance, and
As Violet, though.
Yeah. So I tried to differentiate. We have Caroline, Violet, Cecile, Caroline.
Yeah.
So we have Caroline in Violet's body getting wheeled into, or gurneyed into the ambulance with Ben, who is actually Luke, also in the ambulance, and they make eye contact, and God.
Oh, man. That's one of those moments where you're just like, what would you even think?
And so the thing is, right, is they're not getting whatever drugs that were getting fed to them, right? So even if they tell people what happened to them, who the hell is going to believe?
Exactly. Whew, man.
And it ends with Cecile as Caroline putting on her snake ring, and Luke also said that the house was left to Caroline.
Yeah,
so.
He's like, they must have loved her so much, and Jill's like, why? And he's like, because they left her the house. And you're like, oh, fuck. It's like a multi-layer scheme.
Yep, so you get the
crazy.
This is how they got the house originally, and then it sinks in, if you didn't connect the dots already, that they were in the kids when they watched their original, like, the bodies, and then...
Which is very fucked up when you think about it, because
those people just burned a bunch of kids.
Yeah, those white folk just burned a bunch of little kids. Yeah.
Yep.
And that's it. It's a slow zoom out away from the house and some old music.
Yeah, and then the pinned theories was you get the idiots that you can take over, right? You get the person who's making all of the bad choices and continue to make the bad choices because they're the ones who are gonna stay. Also,
it's easier to fuck over a character in a horror movie when you don't make them super likable. Which is why it clicked now that, like, maybe that's why we don't... Maybe that's why the producer was like, let's just... Like, she'll just fucking go in. She doesn't care. And, like...
Yeah, because, I mean, it sucks at the ending, but I'm also like, Caroline, you're an asshole, like, 75% of this movie.
Yeah, holy shit. It's a great movie, honestly.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. It's a good one.
I really enjoy it. I think that it's definitely one I'd watch again at some point in my life. I could definitely show it to Tay. There's no gore. Mm-hmm. The jump scares are not really that jump scary.
No, and it's very specific, right? Yeah. It's not like this happens everywhere. This is a very specific situation, which I think sometimes helps. Mm-hmm. Like I stated off air, the DVD has so many extra features. It's got how to make the best gumbo. It's got director's commentary. It's got the research they did into voodoo and hoodoo, and it's got so many things. It was so cool. I didn't even get to go through everything because I watched it too late in the week to cover everything. But everyone also said they had a great time working on this movie, that they just had a blast, that the director was so much fun to work with, and I always love hearing that too.
Yeah, you know what? I love talking about the movie. I loved watching the movie. Some movies I find don't hold my attention as well as others, and this one definitely held my attention more. Yeah, I think it's a great one to add to the list.
Yeah, you guys should check it out. In the same note of what is it? What do we say? Friend movie night. This is a good friend movie night. This is like actually a solid one for a nice friend movie night. It's not one where you have to like preface anything to your friends.
No.
It's one that if you want to, you can theorize as you're going, or you guys can just chill and watch.
Yeah.
Probably like a pretty solid level 2 horror movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's a pretty good intro. Like you just stated, it's not a lot of gore. It's very situational. There's not too many jump scares. It's pretty good.
It's good. Go watch it.
Go watch it.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode. Follow our Instagram and threads at No Cell Service Pod. Until next time.